They told you it was just aging, that it was normal to lose morning erections, to feel less alive in the bedroom, and to accept that blood doesn't flow the way it used to. But what if I told you that the real problem could be hiding in your kitchen, that the very vegetables you've been eating or ignoring might be silently clogging the veins that fuel your manhood? And what if, starting today, 4 simple vegetables could begin to reverse that damage? I'm Dr. James. I'm a board-certified genital and vascular surgeon with over 30 years of experience helping older men reclaim their health, their confidence, and yes, their intimacy. And let me be blunt, most of what men over 60 believe about erectile problems is dangerously outdated. Pills aren't the cure, waiting doesn't help, and ignoring the signs, that's a gamble no man should take. Here's the truth. There are 4 vegetables that have been scientifically proven to restore blood flow, open clogged penile veins, and revive erection strength without medication. But almost no one is talking about them. Why? Because they're too simple, too natural, and they work. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly which vegetables to eat, how to prepare them, and the powerful benefits you can expect to feel within weeks, sometimes even days. These aren't superfoods, they're everyday foods, and they could be the missing key to restoring your vitality, your intimacy, and your confidence as a man. So stay with me, because in just a moment I'll show you not only what to eat, but exactly what happens inside your body when you do. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button and turn on the bell. That way you'll never miss another health tip designed specifically to help men over 60 restore their strength, circulation, and intimacy naturally. And if you find this video helpful, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Your feedback helps me serve you better. All right, now let's get into the part you've been waiting for. The very first vegetable on our list is one I recommend to nearly every man over 60 who walks into my office, especially those struggling with blood flow and intimacy. It's powerful, it's natural, and chances are you're not eating enough of it. Let's talk about beets and why they may be the single most important food for boosting circulation where it matters most. 1. Beets, the natural blood flow booster. I'll never forget the day a patient named Harold walked into my clinic. He was 71, still sharp, still working part-time, but he looked me in the eye and said, "Doc, I just don't feel like a man anymore." He wasn't talking about muscle or memory. He meant what happens behind closed doors. His morning erections were gone. Intimacy with his wife had become rare, and he felt invisible. The worst part, he believed it was all just part of getting old. But what Harold didn't know, and what most men over 60 don't, is that blood flow issues in the penis are often the first red flag, and more importantly, that we can do something about it, naturally. That's when I introduced him to something deceptively simple: beets. Yes, beets. These earthy root vegetables are packed with natural nitrates which your body converts into nitric oxide, the key compound that helps your blood vessels relax and expand. And when blood vessels open up, especially the narrow, delicate ones that lead to the penis, everything changes. Within just 2 weeks of drinking a glass of fresh beet juice in the morning and adding roasted beets to his lunch a few days a week, Harold returned with a smile. He told me, "It's like my body flipped a switch." Morning Wood was back. His energy was up, his confidence restored. And that's not magic, it's circulation. Beets don't just help with erections, they lower blood pressure, increase stamina, and improve overall blood flow to the brain and heart too. And if you pair them with other circulation-friendly habits like walking and cutting back on sodium, the results can be even more powerful. Now, you don't need to juice a gallon of beets every day. Start small. Raw or roasted, blended or juiced, just get them into your weekly routine. Your arteries, your heart, and yes, your manhood will thank you for it. But here's the real surprise. While beets are an incredible kickstart, there's another leafy green that actually amplifies the effects of nitric oxide and helps keep blood flowing long after you've finished your meal. Let me show you what it is. If you're still here and this message is resonating with you, just type the number 1 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. Your feedback means more than you know. Now let's keep going and move on to the next powerful step. 2. Spinach, the erection-enhancing super green. I remember a man named Dennis, 68 years old, a retired mechanic from Ohio. He had that strong, quiet presence you often see in men who've spent their lives building things with their hands. But when he sat down across from me, his voice cracked just a little as he admitted, "Doc, I feel like I'm letting my wife down. It's not that I don't want her, it's just my body isn't cooperating." It was clear Dennis was dealing with the same hidden issue as so many other men: poor circulation, especially in the lower region. His testosterone levels were fine. His heart overall checked out okay, but his erections had become unreliable, and worse, he felt embarrassed and confused. That's when I asked him about his diet. And you know what he told me? "I hate greens, Doc. Haven't touched spinach in years." That moment changed everything. Because what Dennis didn't realize was that spinach, yes, plain old spinach, is one of the most powerful foods a man over 60 can eat to restore sexual function. It's loaded with folate and magnesium, 2 key nutrients that improve blood vessel flexibility and support healthy nitric oxide production. In fact, low folate levels are directly linked to erectile dysfunction in older men, yet it's something almost never tested for. I encouraged Dennis to start adding spinach to his breakfast. Just a small handful mixed into his eggs or blended into a smoothie. Within 3 weeks, he reported waking up with firmer erections, more energy, and even better moods. His wife, he told me with a grin, was noticing too. That's the beauty of it. When blood starts flowing properly again, everything else begins to improve. Not just physically, but emotionally. Confidence returns, intimacy reconnects, and life feels alive again. Spinach may be simple, but don't underestimate it. This one leafy green can open doors you thought had been closed for good. And if you think that's impressive, just wait, because the next vegetable is even more overlooked, yet it works quietly behind the scenes to open your arteries, lower your pressure, and bring your sex life back to life. Let's talk about it. 3. Celery, the unsung hero for penile blood flow. If you'd told me years ago that celery would become one of my favorite recommendations for men struggling with poor circulation and low intimacy, I might have laughed. I mean, it's celery, crunchy, bland, often overlooked. But after decades of treating older men, I've learned something important. Sometimes the most powerful solutions are hiding in plain sight. I had a patient named Thomas, 73, a retired truck driver from New Jersey. He came in after his blood pressure medication started affecting his ability to perform. He felt frustrated and defeated, like he was stuck between 2 bad choices: protect his heart and lose his intimacy, or stop the meds and risk everything else. We had a long talk and I asked him what he was eating. His answer? Whatever's fast. Usually salty stuff, frozen dinners, sandwiches. "Doc, I don't have time for rabbit food." That's when I introduced him to celery, not as a snack, but as medicine. You see, celery contains natural compounds called phthalates, which relax the muscles around your blood vessels, allowing them to widen and improve blood flow. It's also rich in vitamin K, which helps prevent calcium buildup in arteries, a silent killer of sexual performance. On top of that, celery is a natural diuretic. It flushes excess sodium and reduces blood pressure gently and effectively. I asked Thomas to drink fresh celery juice in the morning and add chopped celery to his meals a few times a week. Just 3 weeks later, he told me, "Doc, I don't know if it's the celery or what, but things are waking up again." His blood pressure stabilized, his energy returned, and best of all, he didn't feel like he had to choose between heart health and intimacy anymore. So yes, celery may be quiet, but it gets the job done. And the best part, it works beautifully alongside other circulation-boosting foods. But if you really want to protect your manhood from the inside out, especially as you age, there's one more food you absolutely cannot ignore, especially when it comes to your prostate. Let's dive into it. If you're still watching and finding this valuable, go ahead and type the number 1 in the comments to let me know you're here and engaged. Your support keeps this message alive. Now let's keep moving forward with point number 4. 4. Tomatoes, your penis-protecting powerhouse. There's something almost poetic about how simple foods can protect the most vital parts of who we are. I remember one of my patients, Frank, a 66-year-old widower, telling me, "Doc, I never cared about food until I realized food might be the only thing that could save me." He wasn't talking about weight or cholesterol. He was talking about his ability to feel alive again. After years of grief and declining health, he wanted more than just survival. He wanted connection, energy, and the confidence to love again. That's when I introduced him to a surprising ally: tomatoes. Most men don't realize this, but tomatoes are one of the most powerful tools we have for protecting the blood vessels that feed the penis and supporting prostate health at the same time. What makes tomatoes so special is a compound called lycopene, a natural antioxidant that reduces inflammation, lowers oxidative stress, and helps keep your arteries clean and flexible. Studies have shown that men who regularly consume cooked tomatoes, especially with a bit of olive oil, have better vascular function and a significantly reduced risk of prostate enlargement, which is a major factor in reduced sexual performance as we age. Lycopene works silently behind the scenes, clearing plaque, calming inflammation, and even supporting testosterone levels indirectly. Frank started eating tomatoes several times a week: soups, stews, roasted with garlic, even in homemade salsa. Within a month, his blood flow improved. But more than that, something changed in his spirit. He smiled more. He stood taller. He told me, "I'm starting to feel like a man again, not just an old man waiting out the clock." Tomatoes may seem ordinary, but they carry extraordinary power, especially when combined with the other foods we've talked about. But here's the best part: you don't have to eat them all separately. I've developed a simple, delicious recipe that blends all 4 of these circulation-boosting vegetables into one easy daily meal. And when you put them together, that's when the real transformation begins. Let me show you how. 5. Simple recipe. I've seen it too many times: older men leaving my office feeling hopeful after learning what foods could help restore their circulation, only to return weeks later saying, "Doc, I tried, but I got overwhelmed. I don't know how to put all this together." And I get it. When you're 60 or 70, making big changes to your diet can feel like climbing a mountain. That's why I started putting together simple, no-nonsense recipes using the exact foods we've talked about. Something easy enough to make in minutes, but powerful enough to transform your health from the inside out. One of my favorites, and the one I recommend most often, is what I call the Circulation Power Bowl. It's not fancy, it's not complicated, but it works. All it takes is a handful of fresh spinach, half a cup of roasted beets, a scoop of chopped tomatoes, cooked or raw, and a quarter cup of crunchy celery. Add in a hard-boiled egg or a few walnuts for healthy fats, drizzle with extra virgin olive oil, squeeze a bit of lemon, maybe sprinkle a few seeds on top, and that's it. You've got a meal packed with the exact nutrients your blood vessels are begging for. What makes this so effective isn't just the ingredients on their own, it's how they work together. Beets open up the vessels. Spinach strengthens their flexibility, celery reduces pressure and clears excess salt, and tomatoes calm inflammation and protect your prostate. This one bowl delivers everything your body needs to start turning the tide. I've had patients eat it 4 to 5 times a week and call me back saying, "Doc, I feel alive again." You don't need a chef. You don't need expensive supplements. You just need a little consistency and the right ingredients. But here's the real magic. Once you've made this meal a habit, you're going to notice something else. Not just in how you look or feel, but in how your body responds. Because when you give it the right fuel, something powerful happens. Let me show you exactly what that looks like. 6. What happens after you eat it? One of the most rewarding parts of my job isn't just seeing lab results improve or hearing that someone's blood pressure is down. It's when a man, gray-haired, maybe a little hunched, often carrying the weight of years of quiet frustration, sits down across from me and tells me, "Doc, something's different. I feel like myself again." That change doesn't happen overnight, but it begins with something as small as what you put on your plate. After just 1 or 2 weeks of eating the right vegetables, beets, spinach, celery, and tomatoes, your body begins to wake up. Blood starts moving more freely. You feel warmer in your hands and feet. Your energy picks up in the morning. And then something else happens, something more private but deeply meaningful. You begin waking up with morning wood again. Not every day, maybe, but it's there. A sign that the blood is flowing where it's supposed to, that your body is responding. As you stay consistent, the changes continue. Your erections become firmer, more dependable. Your confidence returns, not just in the bedroom, but in how you carry yourself, how you connect with your partner, how you look in the mirror. Some men even tell me their memory improves or that they sleep more deeply. That's no accident. Better circulation touches every part of your health. And when it starts in the smallest vessels, like those in the penis, it spreads outward like ripples in water. I've seen these foods help men who are ready to give up. Men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s. Not because they wanted to be 25 again, but because they wanted to feel alive again. That's the real goal. That's what this is all about. Not perfection, but restoration. Not fantasy, but function, freedom, and dignity. And if you've made it this far, you're probably wondering, what's the next step? What's the bigger message behind all of this? Let's pull it all together now, because the truth is, this is about much more than vegetables. This is about reclaiming the part of yourself you thought was gone forever. Let me explain. 7. Final message. This is about more than just food. If you've listened this far, you already know this isn't just a list of vegetables, it's a lifeline. Because the truth is, every man who walks through my door, whether he's 62 or 82, isn't just asking about diet or erections. He's asking a deeper question. Do I still have control over my body? Can I still feel strong? Can I still be close to the person I love? And the answer, more often than not, is yes. Beets, spinach, celery, and tomatoes. These aren't just foods, they're tools. They open up the vessels that age and lifestyle have slowly closed off. They reduce the pressure, inflammation, and damage that's been building silently for years. They help your body do what it was designed to do. Circulate blood, respond to touch, and rise to the occasion, naturally without shame or side effects. The simple meal I shared with you isn't a miracle cure, but it is a daily act of self-respect. And what happens after you eat it? That's where the real transformation begins. You don't just feel the blood flowing again, you feel the confidence, the spark, the connection to yourself and to your partner that maybe you thought had faded with time. I've seen men cry in my office, not because they were broken, but because they finally realized they weren't. They just needed someone to tell them the truth, that their body could still change, that their best days weren't necessarily behind them, and that something as humble as a bowl of vegetables could become a turning point. So wherever you are right now, maybe you're tired, maybe you're frustrated, maybe you're hopeful, just know this: change is possible. Not by chasing youth, but by honoring the body you have, feeding it the right way, and staying consistent. You're not too old. You're not too far gone. You're not invisible. You're still a man, and your story isn't over yet.